What's up guys, it's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming. Today a painting tutorial on my resin bases that you see right here in front of you. Today we're going to paint them up, get them looking nice to throw underneath your new models or whatever army you might be working on. So I want to take a look at some pictures while I talk because this video quality isn't the greatest and I want to give you guys a clear idea of what we're going for here. So here we have a picture of the bases that I have done previously. Now these are not the same bases that we're painting in the tutorial. These are a little bit different of a color scheme, and I want to say that in the beginning so you guys know that these colors can be adjusted in a multiple different ways to kind of give you a different look and to match your army. If you're not sure what color scheme your army is going to be yet, maybe you're doing the bases before the army, you probably want to stick to a darker color scheme, which is what these pictures are. This is more of a dark kind of brown dirt color that's more easily matched to a variety of models, and that's why I chose to do it that way for these particular bases. Now the ones we're painting in the tutorial are going underneath some Death Guard, which are more kind of a yellowy kind of tan. So I lightened up the color of the dirt to kind of complement that. So if you're not really sure, maybe stick to something a little darker, like what you're looking at right now, and that should match most of the different armies. So we're gonna pick out these cool edges here with a edge highlight, kind of really accent those because those are a pretty cool part of this base, and really just blend in some browns and grays to give it kind of a dirty, weathered sort of look. So let's get right into it, guys. The first color we're going to grab is Vallejo Model Air Black Gray. I think German Gray is actually the same color. And it's over this gray primer. You see it in the back there. You could also prime in black. That works really well. And we're just going to do some basic base coating stuff. Nothing too fancy. Nothing really to see here, guys. Just make sure you get the entire base on the sides as well as the top with this nice dark gray color. We're going to pick up Model Air Light Gray and start some highlights next. So work your way around all of these rock slate kind of chunks and just do a quick little edge highlight. Now start slow and build it up until you figure out kind of the style that you like. You can do it either a little heavier and a little brighter or keep it a little more subtle. If you're getting too much of a line look with your highlight and it kind of looks like you're drawing it with a Sharpie, move your airbrush back away from the base a little bit and it'll give you a little more overspray and kind of makes it look a little more natural. You can vary the amount of color you add in, again, just to give a little bit of variance across the bases, make it look a little bit more convincing when you've got a whole army on it, a little more natural that way. And it is worth saying, guys, that this does look pretty damn cool without any browns added to it. We're going to add in some browns in the next couple of steps, but depending on what you're going for and what kind of color scheme your army has, this might be just fine for what you want. And you could maybe even edge highlight with an even brighter gray on the edges and call it a day. So just kind of see what you guys think and go from there. The next paint I'm using is Model Air Middlestone. This is a very yellow sort of sandy brown. Again, adjust this color as necessary. If you're not sure, I would go with a more conventional oak kind of dark brown. But what we're going to do with the brown is bring it into the middle of the slate chunk. So before we're doing the edges with the gray, the light gray, now we're coming in from the middle with this brown, our first stage of the brown kind of dirt, and that's just to make it look dirty and weathered and kind of nasty. So I'm going pretty heavy-handed here with the brown. You can do it a lot more subtly than this and still get a really cool look. Like the pictures we looked at the beginning, that was a lot less of a brown tint, but I want these to look kind of nasty and almost like they're sort of sickly in a way because it's going to be Death Guard going over them. So that's why I'm going pretty heavy with the brown. I want it to look really weathered and just nasty. So now it's time to highlight the browns. I'm using Vallejo Model Air Light Brown, and I'm going to show you the two brown colors I used right next to each other. So there's the middle stone and then the light brown next to it. Remember, you can darken these up depending on your particular application. So for highlights, just bring a little more towards the center and a basic kind of quick shot to highlight it up and make it a little more interesting. And the dirt will have a little more of variety. Also remember, don't forget to pay attention to the other areas of the base other than the slate chunks, so kind of the surrounding rubble. You're going to want to get a little bit of that brown worked in across the base so that it looks a little more cohesive. We're going to pick up a brush now, and we're going to use Citadel Ushabti Bone, do kind of a dry brush or over brush sort of style. So we're going to hit the edges only and try to really brighten them up and make them pop. So if you mess up, you see me using my finger here to kind of smudge and smear things around, and that's where I've just put down a little too much paint that I don't really like. And if you catch it quick enough, you can smear it off, and it kind of gives a cool little overbrush kind of feathered effect. So once this is done, guys, work your way around all the edges, and it really picks them out, makes them look cool. But if you want it to be even more picked out, you can do an actual edge highlight. So you get your small brush and edge highlight proper on these slate chunks, and that'll give it a really nice, crisp, clean edge, but it also takes more time. So I want to close this by showing you guys my Death Guard real quick, just a few over the top of these bases. Again, kind of wanted to complement their scheme with the lighter browns, and I think that turned out pretty well. So here's, again, we'll go back to the picture, again, a darker paint scheme using these same techniques, just darker browns and a little bit more of the gray showing through underneath. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think. If you've been wondering where these bases came from in this video, I do sell them on my eBay store, link down in the description. Otherwise, these techniques work really well for a lot of other bases, like again, we mentioned the cork style bases, or any kind of lava, rocky sort of style bases that are really popular in 40K. You can use these paint schemes to get a really cool effect. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.